Well, as you can see from the sign, everybody, this is an experimental day here in the studio at Swarez HQ. Welcome to this video. I'm going to explain what's going on in just a few moments, but I have to say this is with a caution. As I said on the sign, this is an experiment. We are at the cutting edge of paint technology, and today, in this very video, we are going to be painting with sound waves. Kid you not, we are painting with sound. We've never done this before. We don't know if anyone's done it before with these materials, but today, behind me, this is exactly what we're going to do. And right now, I'm going to show you some of the tech behind this, behind the scenes. It's as behind the scenes as it gets, guys. So I'm going to grab my roam cam and let's go for a little wander. Right, here we go on our roam cam. Good to see you still there. Right. Okay, down here, let me introduce you to the raised platform we've got at the moment. And this is a 2.4, I think, 2.4 meter wide long canvas by 1.7, that's in meters. I've no idea what that is in imperial measurement. And as you can see down below, we've got this mounted on wheels. Now, all is going to become clear as we take a look around this. But I want to show you what lies behind this so you get a much better understanding of what we are about to be doing here in the studio. So I'm going to keep hold of roam cam, and then AD, my colleague out in control, is going onto the overhead cam. And look, I'm now going to push this out of the way, and I'm going to introduce you to the tech that lies behind here. And there we go, folks, there we go. Right, so while AD's on the overhead, let me show you. We've got two subwoofer speakers here. These put out very, very low frequency sound waves. So if you've ever sat in a home cinema or in the cinema and you feel the rumbles underneath your seat, then this is what produces all the low frequency sound waves. So we've got two here, two fairly sort of large home cinema subwoofers, and they're going to be firing sound waves upwards. So this is going to create a differential in air pressure, and then this is then going to excite the air between the top of the speaker cone and the underside of the canvas. And hopefully when we put this up into operation, I'll be able to get some images on the roam cam, this wonderful thing, of the canvas actually oscillating up and down. And it's this surface we're going to be painting on. No idea what's going to happen. And I have to say, guys, you must bear in mind that because this is experimental, we've never done it before, I have no expectations. It may turn into a grey, sludgy mess. I have no idea. But we wanted to take you a couple of steps backwards from all the pretty things that you see out there and actually show you that, look, we're not afraid to have a go. And if we fail, then we'll fail. But if we succeed, we're going to turn the corner with something. So bear that in mind with what you're about to see. This is a massive step for us into the unknown. Okay, so we've got the two subwoofer bass speakers. That's connected to an amplifier. If you want to switch to roam cam, buddy, let's show everybody that. So there we go. So this is what lies underneath the canvas. So we've got an amplifier, and the sound waves are going to be generated that way behind the outside of the pod, and AD is controlling that from an app on his phone. So he's going to be producing the sound waves. Now, we have already experimented and got a couple of frequencies, which AD will talk to you about a little bit later on as I push this back. A couple of frequencies that work fairly well. I'll come and pull this from the other side. And that's what we're going to be starting with today. Pull the wood over. There we go. Okay, so I'll pop that back on the stand, and I'm going to get that leveled up with my marks on the floor. And then, guys, we're going to have a voyage into the unknown. Right, let's just get that into position. So at the moment, with my marks on the floor, I've centered this. So not only does it look great on the camera, but being in a centered position, it means that I've then got the two speakers sat approximately there and there with what we've just seen. But the real beauty and benefit of having a movable table is that I can now maneuver this around so that the effects of the speakers can be placed into different parts of the painting. So we're not just fixed to one position, which is awesome. And I must admit, I'm very, very excited about what's going to happen next, because we have no idea. We genuinely, as I get my gloves on, have no idea what's about to happen. But we're recording it for you guys. And this is going to form part of one of our live streams. Now, if you're watching this in the future on a replay, we'll pop a link to that down in the description. So make sure you go and have a look at it, because we are going to be doing this live on air. But with something as important as this and as groundbreaking as this, we need to have a practice first to see what this is all about and work the physics out. And that is exactly what we're about to do. Right. Pour myself a clean cup. Right. So hopefully I won't slide around too much. I'm going to get the cup roughly in the centre. Okay, so now we're going to get Roam Cam down onto the canvas. Okay, all right, so hopefully you can see that on Roam Cam. Adie's just going to tell me in my ears. Okay, so that should be roughly about where we need to be. Right, is that okay? So I'm just chatting to Adie. Right, so I think, are we going to go for a test now, buddy? Let's go for a test. So keep your eyes on the cup. Here we go. There it is. There it is. Now that is about to be paint. I'm going to keep in the center. Look, see what's happening? Off it goes to the left and off again. Yeah, here we go. Right, I'm going to move around. Now this is all generated with sound. Oh, and it's over. There it goes. Let's leave it. Let's leave it bobbing away. There we go. Now I'm going to take you underneath, and hopefully you can see all the vibrations underneath. Look, and there, that one's going crazy. So we've currently got, I think we're at 42 hertz. Is that correct, buddy? No, we're lower apparently. Yeah, so we are lower. 24.5 hertz, my apologies. So that's 24.5 frequencies per second, cycles per second. 20 hertz, 20 hertz. 20 hertz, I've just been told. Okay, fantastic. So that's our vibration. Okay, so Eddie's just popped that off. Now, of course, what you can't hear, I don't think, is the noise that that's making, because we use some compression software when we broadcast. So this won't be recording all the noise it's making, but I can assure you that bass note is quite profound, even though I've got ear defenders on. Right, okay, that's the tech, that's the test. Now you know what lies underneath. I think it's about ready for the very, very, very first time that we get some paint on. Right, I'm going to check everything is good with my colleague. Everything all right out there, buddy? Are we ready to get some paint on?
All good here, buddy. So yeah, that was running at 20 hertz. We'll adjust the frequencies here and now. We'll test a few. Ed can see what happens to the paint. I will adjust accordingly, go up a decibel, up a hertz here and there. So there is one we found which was, I believe, 38 hertz, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 38 hertz. So we're going to test at 38 hertz, 42 hertz, 20 hertz, 24.5 hertz. And we're just going to play around a little bit and see what happens. But this is all about the fact that we have to understand the weight of the paint that goes on, the weight or the bow in the canvas and things like that, to try and figure this out and just move it up and down a few millimeters here and there. We shall see. Let's get on with it.
And here's what you might not have quite understand. There is quite a weight to this. And pigments do have a weight, resin has a weight, and all the other chemicals and agents that act within the paint has a specific weight. So these two cups, I mean, there is a good probably pound and a half of weight in there, and we're putting that onto a surface with well, as much tension as we can get out of it, but this is going to start undulating. So here we go. We won't see the white, but so I'm going to start with black and copper. So I think what I'm going to do, and I will be speaking to Aiden, who's probably going to have his mic on very shortly. So what I think we'll do, we'll go copper on the left, bud, and then we'll go black on the right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you think?
Well, we can only try, can't we?
Right, okay then, folks, here we go. So, which camera are we, buddy?
We are on corner cam at the moment, but I can
Okay.
go to
Anyone you want. Let's go PTZ.
Let's go PTZ. Okay, so PTZ.
Yeah.
I'll swing that round just a little bit, get it better in shot.
Yeah, so we're going to get this in shot for you guys, and then I'm going to get the first lot of paint on, because this will be the shot where we first switch it on. So
Okay.
when you're happy, I'm going to get some black on to start
Yeah,
with, buddy.
black on.
Okay.
And you'll have to let me know what that looks like underneath.
So,
Sure
2
how much bow
seconds.
you're getting in that.
Not a lot of bow, actually,
That's good news.
which
then.
is good news. Yeah, right. So let's get the heavier one on. This is the copper. Now, a lot more.
Much
You can
thicker.
see there how thick that is. A lot more treacly, if that is indeed a word. So what we don't know at this stage is the effect about the two different viscosities of the paint. Which one is going to move more? I suspect it's going to be the black, but we don't know until we switch on. So if we're ready, folks, I'll let Adi do the honours. Whenever you're ready, buddy, let's hit the on button for the very first time. Here we go, guys.
Yeah, we're going to set this at that CO that we talked about before.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, fire it on, mate. Fire it on.
Okay. It should be coming on.
Right, we are on. We are on. How very interesting. Right, so you can probably see we've got quite a bit of movement in the black, and very little movement in the copper. So I'm going to get roam cam as well. Now this is curious. I thought this would be going everywhere. So do I want to up the volume now, dude? I'm going to up the volume, yeah? Yeah, do it. Oh, that's it. We just changed the setting. Right, so there is definite movement. You can see that now oscillating. And we've got a hump in the center, look. Isn't that strange? I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so we've got a lump. Let's just go around there because we can see better. Right, so Eddie's going to shut that off any second now. Oh, look, and it dissipates instantly. Right, okay, that's very curious. So we're now going to change and go to 34.5 hertz. So we're going to start at 24. So that should form the lump back in the center. There it is. There it's forming. So we'll go +10 and change the frequency. Oh, that's definitely doing something. I can see the lump changing. Now, I'll tell you what, buddy, I'm going to move the table. Let's see what happens. So our lump is definitely, yeah, there it goes. Look, it's off. Yeah, keep going with the frequencies. That's 36.5.
Okay, 37.5. $38.5. That's shaking the entire room now. 39.5. Oh, that's really in my ears, that is. Wow. Not sure how much I can stand of that.
Right,
40.5 hertz. Oh, that's going absolutely right through me. Oh no. Right, I'm going to pause it. Oh, that was too much.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't. That was going right through me here.
Yeah, I know. I could feel that. I could feel that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, I say so far so good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we haven't blown anything up, and the roof hasn't collapsed.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right. Okay. Let's park roam cam back there. So, I think we should thin the paint down a little bit. Right. So I have a drop of paint I thinned earlier. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay. Let's go back into the center. Hang on, I'm sliding all over the place here. Let's slip back into the center. Okay, that's going to be somewhere nearby. so we are ready to go back on 42 hertz. Okay, that's fine. So back in the center again. I'm now going to grab some thinned white, and actually I'm going to pop this into the center of the copper. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to go to the center of the black. So now you can definitely see those two. Okay, right, so this will be the next bit. Okay, right, so I think ready when you are, buddy, and let's see what happens next. Oh, that's interesting. Right, well, we have got some movement in the paint. Right, I think if I... No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to adjust this up a little bit so I can hold it.
Yeah, that's me asking Ed to put that as close as he can to it.
There, how about that? Right, go for it. Yeah, do it.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Here we go, 42 hertz again. And I'm going to stop.
Right, so that's 42 hertz. So can we go back to 24 on that G setting that you had, Geo setting?
Yeah. Geo setting.
And then I'm going to come around this way. So this is a question of us finding, and not a lot, look, not a lot has happened to the copper. So we're going to spray that in a minute, see if we can encourage things, but I want to just keep our eyes over here on the black and the white. So we're going to change the frequency and have another look.
Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go. So this is the Geo setting that we had. Here we go.
Oh, we've definitely got movement in the middle, look.
Yeah, we can see that. Definite oscillation going on there.
That's very interesting. That's very linear. Let's move that to the edge.
To the copper.
All right, copper. Look, we've got a little bit of movement in the white, but what's underneath it's doing nothing. So I think we have to go very loose, very liquid in the paint. That's very, very, very interesting. You can see then that the thinner we go, look, that we've definitely got more movement. So with that in mind, I think we'll get some thinners on this.
Okay, pausing. Okay, cool. So that was 24.5 hertz. It is an oscillation. It's a setting, but I'm not sure exactly what the setting is. I don't profess to be a sound engineer, so unfortunately, but what I do have is the signal set at 440, which I think is possibly the oscillation on and off, I believe. So I think what we'll do is let's try back to the CO one as well.
Yeah.
When you've done the thinners.
Right.
So I'm going to put onto overhead now.
Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to give this a bit of a spray with some thinners. Let's see if we can encourage this to do something. Let's spray the other side as well. Now it may go a little bit grey, but that's okay. But we want to just get some fluid into this. That's the important thing here. Okay, before we do anything else, he said, he's just going to pop a tiny drop of black in there, look. Okay. And I will drop a tiny drop of copper in this side, just to see what happens as it starts to react together. Okay, right then, buddy. So we're back in our center position again. Let's go for, I don't know how many times now, let's go for another wave and see what we can capture now then, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so this one is going to be the CO setting that we had, and then I can go to the Geo. The other one we haven't tried is the BO setting.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'll go CO first.
Yeah, do the CO setting first, mate. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too bad. All right, I'm going to go to the Geo.
Geo, yeah.
Geo. That seems to be the one, doesn't it?
It's definitely got some movement in it now.
Okay, now I'm going to try the BO setting.
Okay.
See what happens.
Well, that's definitely more aggressive.
That's pretty much destroying it now, isn't it?
Right, but that's fine. So, what I'm not getting is that vibration on the edges that we had before, which is very odd.
Gold. Copper, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, not a lot happening.
Yeah. It's all very localized, isn't it? So let's move it out of the way a little bit. See if we can get this to move.
Yeah, definitely get moving. See that now on the camera. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. That's definitely broken that up.
Right, so I'm going to go backwards now towards the back.
Yeah.
See if we can move. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, so they're joining now, so let's move it. Let's see how far we can take this.
Not sure what our neighbours are going to think.
I'm going to come back round, so I'm going to go towards PTZ, mate.
Yeah, watching you.
Because I want to see if we can tease this copper into doing anything.
I can hit stop for a second if you want to see what happens.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Stop now.
Okay, so that's our stop point. Right, so I think what's evident is we need to get a lot more paint on here. I think you'll agree. So, let's just go and get his glasses. I'm going to thin some paint down, so it does seem the thinner, the better. Okay, so now we've established that, I think what we're going to do is start and fill the canvas up. I think that might be a really good thing. So, I'm going to keep it in this position, and I need to start moving some of this around. So I think this is where now, let's see if we can turn this into a piece of art, a sound wave piece of art. Now we've understood a little bit about how this is going to work. I just want to take a quick look underneath. Everything is still holding. Nothing is coming through. I'm going to call that a win. Right, okay. So, this is good. Right, he's back in control. Excellent.
So, that last one was 30.87 hertz. It is on, it's selecting a musical note. Now, the tuning selection, obviously you musical guys out there will know this, says A4 equals 440 hertz. And then I was at CO, which I guess is like a sort of E minor and things like that, I guess. That's what we're doing. CO, GO, EO, BO. We're working through those. And I can then fine tune the frequencies to whatever I want to do. But at the moment, that was 30.87.
Okay, fantastic. Right, so I think what we've established here is that we need to go quite thin on the paints. Now, in order for the copper to go and do anything, I am going to maneuver that around just a little bit now. I'm going to spread it out. So what we're going to do is essentially thin it out so it has a smaller impact on the surface. And I'm going to do that with one of my plastic grout spreaders. So let me just do that now. Okay, buddy?
So just so you know, what Ed's having to do is understand the viscosity of the paint. Now, we know that some of these paints are thicker than others. Some have pigments in that are heavier. We know all this, but what we don't know is at what thickness or viscosity the paint needs to be for it to react in a certain way. Now, as you can see, the black and the white have turned to a grey. Now we have slightly darker on what you can see on the screen at the moment is the left-hand side, then you have lighter in the center, then it goes back to a sort of mid-gray towards the right. Now that's great if we wanted a grey, but if we were trying to keep the black and the white and not let them mix too much, if it's too thin, it will completely mix. If it's too thick, it won't mix at all, like the copper and the white did. So it's finding these mediums somewhere in between that we can work with, and that's what all this experimentation is about, is finding out what viscosities work, what frequencies. And this is what we do behind the scenes. So we wanted to show you what goes on behind the scenes and what we try to, do that makes it completely different from everybody else. Hopefully, that's what we're trying to do. Hey, it might be a complete disaster, but unless we try it, we don't know.
Yeah, as AD says, this is absolutely for us right at that cutting edge. Whilst it might look a little bit odd compared to the things that we normally do, we have to go through these processes to actually understand, as he said, what's going on. So I'm doing a mixture here of some thin and some not, because I now want to go around the edge of the canvas and I want to find out now where those limits are. So again, this is me reacting, as AD says, about the materials that I've got in front of me. What is it? What can I now do that changes the behaviors of these paints? So let's find out. So stick with it, guys, because I've got a feeling we are going to do something pretty cool. I can just feel it. I can feel it because I'm starting to see some things happening and I'm excited by it. I really am. So give me a few seconds. Let's just get the paint on.
So one other thing Ed needs to watch out for, which I'll get him to check in a minute, is the weight of the paint that's going on. Like I say, we did an adjustment just prior to starting the filming where we raised it up a little bit because we thought that it might need that due to the weight of the paint on it. Now, again, we had no clue where to raise it up to, where the frequencies would still react with the paint, but the weight of the paint pushing the canvas down. So again, we're testing that as well. So I'll get Ed to look and see how close we are. I'll get him to put it on the roam cam so we can see it.
Yeah, very, very valid point. We're so far, I think, looking pretty good. So I'm going to grab roam cam and let's go have a look underneath. So we've got a fair volume of paint going on there at the moment. Let's go under here and hopefully you can just about see we are still clear, which is great. I'm going to try and move along there. There is a bowing, so that now let's see if I can start maneuvering some of this out. Right, let's just point you back down there again on roam cam. Right, buddy, any frequency you like, and then I'm going to start moving the table. So choose your camera. Okay, and then I'm going to move towards the back. 30.87, right. Yeah, okay, let's do it, mate, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so we'll start it back at what we were on previously, which is 30.87. Here we go. You let me know when you want that turned off, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay for now.
Definitely see that waving.
Yeah. Right, let's go that way. Right, now I'll come back this way.
Yeah. So still 30. Where's my 30.87.
So that's what can we go back to the, let's do the G, is that the G setting that we're on? Yeah, GO now. Right, very interesting. Oop. Now, of course, the other thing we've got natively happening is the entire canvas is pretty much moving and bouncing. You can cut it there, buddy. As well, which the effect of having paint around the outsides, of course, I'm not quite sure until we get that far. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue with that. Now that's, look, there we go. We can see the static blooms now. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. So, yeah, have a little look at that. We've got these very, very interesting, well, they are, I guess they are waves, aren't they? These are patterns caused in the paint. That's very, very, very interesting. So what I want to do now, I want to know about what's going to happen as we reach the edges, because actually the edges are vibrating as well, and we've got an oscillation between front and back and also that way as well. So I want to take this volume of paint and move it out to the edges. So I'm going to get that moved out next. Let's just see what we get. Let's just take some of this volume out of the middle. If we can always go back, remember this is the experiment, we can always go back into the center again. Okay, we know the grey is going to go grey because it's black and white mixed repeatedly together. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's understand the material a bit better. Let's get expressive with this now. So this is the very first time we've ever done anything like this in the entirety of us painting here. We have painted for a lot of years. We've always wanted to do this. Well, now we have the capability of doing it. So why not? I mean, we never know what we're capable of until we actually have a go. I think that's a great truism of life itself. You've got to try and find out what you're capable of. Let's see. So we're going to have a couple more goes. And I'm going to just pepper that with a little bit of black here and there. Just in a couple of places. And I'm going to do the same with the white. And then we're just going to have a little go just to see what happens. Let's get some lines in here now. Okay. Let's just go for it. I'm going to drop some thinners on as well. Not too much. This all wants to fall back into the center again. You know, which I get. And that is the weakest link. That's the point of least resistance in the center. So let's make sure we don't have everything pooling there, because I will be cutting this out and laying it on the floor to dry, because I'm very interested to see what happens. But for now, let's just make sure we're not adding to that too much. Just by getting this moved around as much as I can. Okay, copper's got some, yeah, the copper's really sunk, hasn't it? You can see that. Okay. Right, okay, so at least we've got, this will give me an idea now what's going to happen as we go towards the edges. And of course that's very important. So I'm going to give that a little bit of spray just around here. And let's just see. Let's just see as we keep the paint fluid. There we go. Just give that a bit of encouragement. And then the last thing I'm going to do, just pop a couple of streaks of white through the center. Now white has a tendency to fall down anyway, because that's what it does. It just disappears because it's got a heavier weight than all the rest of the paints. Okay, so in a view of not, in a point of view of not upsetting our neighbours, we've got a couple more attempts at this, and then I think that's probably us done for the day. So if you're okay with that, buddy, let's have one more go and see what happens now, and I'll give it a little bit of a manoeuvre around as we go.
Right, I'm going to set this on Geo.
On Geo.
Okay.
Brilliant. Go for it.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Here we go.
Right. Well, we've definitely got movement. We've definitely got movement. And just looking at what's happening around the outside. Yeah, I think, let's just pop that back. Approximately there. Yeah, you can hit it now, buddy. Yep.
And off.
Okay, right. Well, I think that has probably concluded our experiments. That's been very, very interesting. So now we've learned on camera about the gravity of paint, about the weight of the paints, about what they do when they're thinned, about what they do when they're not thinned. We've also learned about what happens when it goes towards the outside. We've also learned about the manoeuvring of paint and what it leaves behind. So actually this process over half an hour, 40 minutes, has just taught us an awful lot about how this process works. Now, of course, we've been playing around with different frequencies, as Adi has alluded to when he's on the microphone. So that's part now of our development process, is looking at different frequencies and figuring out then with two subs together how they interact with each other as well as on their own as well. So we might start and maneuver those around, adjust the frequencies between them, all that kind of thing. But this is the start. This doesn't have to be a work of art. That wasn't what we were trying to achieve at the start. This was figuring out and working out what happens to paint when all you do is subject them to low frequency sound waves. Could we do something? Is there some merit in this? Has it got legs? Has it got mileage? Can we actually turn this into an art form? Well, this today, folks, is where it's all started, and you've been able to watch that as well. So we hope to get this onto a live stream at some point when we have had some more opportunity to refine and look at the processes. That's the goal here, that we can do something pretty extraordinary with it. But for now, that's the experiment, and this is the very, very first time that we've used it, and we've been able to do it with you guys. So it's important that you realise that that this is, this is an experimental thing. This is it. This is the in progress. Okay, we're not afraid to show this, and we hope you can, enjoy that journey with us as we try and push back some of these boundaries. It's not all about living the perfect Instagram lifestyle. We are real people. We are trying to do real things, and we're trying to solve all the same problems that everybody else has. But we want to do it in a way that's uniquely our own, and that is what this video today is all about. This is about pushing back the boundaries, finding what you're capable of, and asking those questions. What if we got some sound and made the paint do weird and wonderful things? Well, I think that's exactly what we're doing today. So as we go through the center there, which was the last time we switched the speakers on, we go out towards the edges. Some very interesting things happening towards the edges, actually. And I'm very, very interested to know how the paint reacts when it goes over there. Now, I did have to tease the copper out, as you may have seen. But already, look, it's starting to fall back into the center. So we'll be quite eager to get this out of its frame and flat on the floor, just so we don't end up with two great big pools right in the middle. And it's a constant problem when you pre-stretch things, which is why predominantly you don't see an awful lot of this online on a big scale, because it becomes incredibly difficult to manage. But there we go, guys. You can see the 2 points in the center. That's where our two speakers are located. And that is painting with sound. That is what we've created. And there it is. Using nature, using the natural frequencies. And there it is. we've done it. We've actually managed to achieve it. Right, let's pop RoamCam back on the stand. Wow. Well, please do let us know in the comments what you think about that, and what you think about us doing this when we've never done it before. You know, when it's not practiced, it's not polished, but this is about having a go. This is really trying to find out what we're capable of. We hope you've enjoyed that. Depending on when you're watching this, there might be a live stream as well that you can see where we're broadcasting to the outside world, completely unedited. I'll pop a link to that down in the description. Please do go check it out. It'll be awesome. And if you've enjoyed this video today, make sure you give us a thumbs up. That would be awesome, because it really does help us grow and build the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click on your bell icon. That would be amazing. Well, that's it for one afternoon here at Swarez headquarters. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do go check out some of the others, and we look forward to seeing you next time.